Before we get into this video, I want to ask a question. Which vocal is auto-tuned? Can you tell? I will let you listen. Here is the first one.
I got those French fries on the stove. Gonna get my grub on like for sure.
All right, you have listened to the first one. Now, here is the second vocal.
I got those French fries on the stove. Gonna get my grub on like for sure.
Did you figure out which one it was? Let me know in the comments. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JustDaNorm. I hope you all are feeling great. I hope you all are excited about your holiday weekend if you celebrate the holiday. And if you do, let me know in the comments below what you're going to be doing over this weekend, where you're going to go. You're going out of town, etc., etc. Let me know those things below. So the big question is, should you use auto-tune or pitch correction on your music or on your vocals? In my opinion, I believe that it is a tool that can help if used properly, and you may feel that it's been overused too much in today's pop or rap music, but I believe that the tool is handy because I know that as a musician, even though I play keys, even though I sing, even though I play all these other instruments, even I sometimes am out of tune. It is a natural tendency for us to be out of tune because sometimes the instruments that we are trying to sing to are not in tune. What I do want to talk about is using pitch correction in Cakewalk and the proper way to go about using it, depending on what you are trying to achieve. Whether you just want simple correction, or maybe you want the whole auto-tune T-Pain type effect that's popular today. If that's what you're going for, then that's great. So I asked you a question in the beginning of the video, and hopefully you got the right answer. Let me know in the comments which example you thought had auto-tune on it. Make sure you stay to the end of the video because I'm actually going to share with you which answer was correct. So make sure you stick around now, don't dip on me. All right, we're in here in Cakewalk, and I'm going to reveal exactly what I did so you can hear what's going on with these two tracks. Which track is the auto-tune track and which one is the track that's not auto-tuned. All right, so you can see the auto-tune track is actually on track 2, and you can see there's nothing on track 1 except for EQ. All right, but I'll play it for you so you can hear the difference. Now, if you're a person that you're new to Cakewalk, you installed it, but you don't know how to get in here and record or do anything like that, I have a getting started video that you definitely should check out. And then I also have a video that focuses on mixing your vocals. All right, now I'm going to do another video about mixing, so you all don't want to miss that one. Make sure you subscribe. Definitely subscribe for that. All right, so now let's play the first track so we can hear what's going on. I'm going to mute the other track. I got it on loop. All right.
I got those French fries on the stove. Gonna get my grub on like for sure.
All right, so that is the first track, but you notice that there is no auto-tune on this track at all. But I do have some effects on it. So let's talk about the effects. Right now, I have a master bus that's set up, right? And I've talked to you about buses and sends, how you can send your audio to a different bus or a different track to allow you to, first of all, free up some of those memory resources, right? Because you can see my memory resources are up there because I need to put more memory in this computer anyway. And then my hard drive is pretty much all gone. But I do have other hard drives built inside the computer. But anyway, I digress. So let's go back into this. All right, so I have on this master bus, it's called Bus B right now, I have the Sonitis EQ, all right? And what I'm basically doing with this EQ, this is not about mixing, but let me just show you exactly what's going on. I just dipped the low end out, all right? I did a low pass filter, and I boosted some of my 125 between 180 around that area because that's the area that I need a little bit more bottom in because I have a high tenor voice, and you can already tell that, you know, my voice is already twangy and bright as it is, so I don't need much brightness in my voice. All right, so I did that with the EQ. All right, I did compression wise, I used 1176, okay? There are some different presets that are in here, so you can use that one. I did adjust it. No, did I adjust this one at all? I don't think I adjusted it at all. I think I just left it the way it is. I did, the attack is fast, and the release, I did increase that to make the release slower. And I use more than one compression, of course. I use a Breverb, and I'm using a patch that's called Cozy Vocal Plate. All right, it's pretty cool. I mean, I have it like, you know, not all the way wet, but maybe 60% so wet. Just at the time, I did some things with a pre-delay example, but you can get into that yourself later on if you want to play it with these plugins. And then I use on the bottom. Now, the thing about using any of these plugins is that I can move them around any way I want. I can shift the equalizer to the bottom. It all depends on what part of the chain you want it to be in. So just keep that in mind. I mean, it's going to make the sound different when you start moving things around. And then my trusty old VX64. I just went to some preset. Like, I didn't even like audition any of these. I just went to one. It's called Mush Groove. All right. But I still tweaked it a little bit anyway. It does have an expansion, and it does have a compression on here. So I adjusted the ratio for the expand, and I adjusted the ratio for the compress. You can see that I have the compression 4.1 to 1. Why do you use 2 compressions? You basically use 2 compressions because you don't want one compression to do all the job for you. And I probably would add another compression to this one. But I mean, I'm just trying to do something real simple, just to give you an idea of how you can mix this and try to make them sound really good while also using Autotune, which we're going to get to the Autotune part. Please don't go nowhere. Stay with me. Stay with me. All right. Okay. So I've got the compression. I've got the expand. I put a de-esser on there. You can listen to the de-esser to hear the parts where the consonants come out, like s. Okay. If you don't know how to use de-esser, I have a video about that too as well. Tube equalizer. There's already an EQ that I have on one of the tracks, but I had to add an EQ to this one as well. So I'm using 2 EQs. Why am I using 2 EQs? I don't know. I just feel like doing it. All right. On the EQ on here. So what I'm doing is I'm doing more lower roll off. All right. But not quite as perfect as the other one. This is more of a dipped low off. And then I dipped a little bit, a wider dip around this 500 hertz. This is like the boxy sound, like, you know, and this room is not treated that I'm in. I'm in the living room in an apartment. So you have to start playing with these frequencies and try to figure out which frequency is making the most sound that is annoying to your ears. If you can figure that out, then you're in good shape. Hey, you right there. Hey, stop. Before you decide to click off of this, make sure that you watch the whole video. Please just do that and give it a like. Definitely. That'll help spread it to more people. Okay. All right. Back to the video, because sometimes there's different frequencies. All right, I actually boosted the highs a little bit, give me more brilliance. So if I wanted that. Now this comes in handy for the second track, but it doesn't come in handy so much for the first track, because the first track I did something totally different. I have saturation coming in, I have saturation going out, blah, blah, blah. I got a doubler on there, and I kept the stereo field basically more centered. The further you move outward, it's going to sound more stereo. It's going to move it, you know, pan it basically to all the way to the sides of your headphones if you're listening with headphones or your speakers. So that's pretty cool. But that's that. So this is the vocal strip that I'm using. All right. And that's everything on there. Oh, did I have a reverb on it? No, okay, I got the reverb. I talked about that. So now here is the second track. All right. So I'll let you hear the second track. I'll mute the first one. Here's the second track.
I got those French fries on the stove. Gonna get my grub on like for show.
All right, now you can tell that tonality-wise, tone-wise, my tone on this song was actually, I'm not on this song, but on this particular track was warmer than the first track. The first track was more nasality, right? Nasality means the when I'm singing like that. This is the type of effect that you used to get with pop music in the 2000s. Like, you know, you listen to NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. You would always have one person that had the warmer tone, and then you have the person that had more of the you know, Britney Spears. Like, you know, that was their whole style back then. You can play around with using or changing your tone in your music to give it that effect. So once again, track 1 does not have any auto-tune at all. That's all my voice doing that, and I can take it off. I'll take all the effects off, so you can see I'm a bypass by pressing the power button right here on the master, and I'll press the power button so you can hear the track 1 without any EQ, without any effects on it. All right, I'll mute track 2 as well.
I got those french fries on the stove. Gonna get my grub on like for sure.
All right, so you know, I got my, you know, all right, stuff like that. And when I'm doing it, I'm basically using my voice like it's an instrument, all right? You know, I can use the tremolo, I can use vibrato, I can do a whole bunch of things. I can change my tone, I can sound more operatic, you know. So this is a cool thing about being able to use your voice. It's one of the most intricate instruments ever. And if you can do things with your voice, I'm not saying that you don't have to play an instrument, but if you can sing and you can do things with your voice, like boombox, you know, all that type of stuff, and scatting and stuff like that. If you can do all those things with your voice, there's so many things that you can do in your project within the studio. It opens up unlimited possibilities for creating. All right, let's look at track 2. So I have Antares Autotune access. Now, I wanted to make this video a little quicker than this, but it took me a long time to get my Autotune to work right, because for some reason, every time I kept coming to Cakewalk, I could not get it to work. It kept saying that it couldn't find the key. And then when I go into Antares Central, I see the key there. It's activated, but it wasn't working. So if you have a problem like this, because I tried to look for it on YouTube and I thought about making a video about it, but it was as simple as going to Antares and just, you know, type in help, go to support, send them an email and let them know that you're having problems. And then they were able to fix the problem. Now, the first problem I had was with Lander. So I got this plugin through Lander. If you're not familiar with Lander, Lander is a great distribution company, as well as they have several plugins. They also have a AI, artificial intelligence mastering software that's free. Well, it's not free to use, but I mean, you can use it, but there's different plans, and I have a plan with that. If you're interested in Lander, I have a description below on that as well. But anyway, Lander, they have it where you can buy some of these plugins, or you can lease the plugin to buy. So I leased this plugin. I think I started paying on it 2 or 3 months ago, because I hadn't had Autotune on this system. And I don't think I've actually had Autotune on any system since probably the mid 2000s or late 2000s, because I was living with parents then, and then my dad had computers and had his stuff, and I was always using his stuff. So when I got my own stuff, it's like I had it and then it disappeared. You know how it goes. Plugins that you lose, you can't install them anymore. Old versions of Cakewalk that you can't use anymore, etc. So anyway, basically this melody is in the key of F minor, right? I tried my best to keep it as simple as possible, and I had to write my words down, which I got right here, and it's something goofy. But anyway, what I'm doing is I'm doing a retune speed of slow. Now let me let you hear it without the Autotune plugin so you can hear what it sounds like, because the first segment, I think the word is, I got those French fries. And when you hear the word French fries, it's going to sound like I had Autotune on that part, but I didn't have Autotune on. It was just, I kind of did that vibrato bend. I bended the note a little bit. So there are a new few updates to the channel. We now have memberships that you can join. If you're interested in that, you definitely can join the memberships. I'm not trying to force it on anybody, but I want to make sure I mention that. I also have my own merchandise. I am wearing my JustDaNorm. You can check this out. I have the link to that in the description below. If you find that this content is valuable and you definitely want to check out more tutorials like this, because I have a lot of tutorials on here, definitely consider subscribing to the channel. Click the notification bell so that way you're notified every time that I post new content. I got those French fries. So you're that friend. Okay. You can do that, you know. It's like a quick thing to do. I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to sing it as straight as possible, but it was hard to do. But anyway. I got those French fries on the stove. Gonna get my grub on like for sure. All right. And I mean, for the most part, I'm in key, you know, and I played it with the piano. I'm not too far off, so Autotune doesn't have that much work to do. I have it on the slow retune speed. So the retune speed, if you're not familiar with Autotune, let me give you a quick tutorial about it. The retune speed is how fast you want the auto tune to engage. Okay. So basically, and it says set the intensity to control how quickly input audio is moved to the target pitches. Now, let's start off first off with the keys. So if I'm in the key of F minor, the keys of F minor are going to be F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's wrong. excuse me, theorist. Sorry. F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F. Okay. I apologize. I started playing a minor melodic scale. That's what I was getting ready to start doing. But anyway, that's another story. So this is a minor, natural minor scale. Okay. All right, it's basically the same thing as A flat major scale. Okay. All right, I don't know if you can hear that on my piano or not, but anyway, and you can see on here which notes are actually included. So you got C, you got C sharp and D flat, you got E flat, you got F, you got G, you got A flat, and you got B flat. All right, so that means any note that I fall on within there, let me put the auto tune back on so you can see how it works. Oh, I did turn it back on. So now let me play it with the auto tune, and you'll see.
I got those French fries on the stove. Gonna get my grub on like for sure.
All right, so we already know that this controls the input of the level of, I kind of like think of it like attack, like how quickly the Antares Autotune attacks the note, basically, or how quick it changes the note. So if you wanted to change it slow, then you keep it here. If you want more of the like T-Pain effect or Chris Brown or anybody like that, then you can go to fast, all right? And you just double click it until you get all the way up. And then if you want it medium, and this is like hard to change, you just have to, it's almost like you're turning a knob. So turn the knob, turn the knob. Now this is like one of the basic auto-tune versions. So it doesn't have a lot of features on it, but it can do exactly what you need. And you can also do auto-tune live on it as well. I'm not going to show you how to do that, but we'll do a separate video about auto-tune again, so you can really get into it and see exactly what you can do with it. When you go to settings, you can enable auto key detection. So that's cool. So it can automatically tell which key you're in. Choosy track key, disable if audio is noisy or choosy track is unreliable. Enable tooltips. The knob control can be linear or it can be circular. It was on circular original, but I switched it to linear. So here's what it would sound like. Oh, I turned this off for a second. If I had it on fast, you really would be able to hear exactly what it sounded like. So here's fast.
I got those French fries on the stove. Gonna get my grub on like for sure.
All right. But now you can still tell that even with that, because I'm so much kind of in key, that it's not much that the auto-tune has to change, all right? Even though it's changing it fast. So which brings me to this section right here. This actually tells you how many cents, cents, C-E-N-T-S, like just like pennies, basically, how many cents you're sharp or flat. So if it's near 0, that means that you're pretty much perfectly on tune. But if you see the note go up, like one note I was actually really sharp on. Let's do it again.
I got those French fries on.
Okay, you see there?
I got those French fries on.
Okay, you can see French fry. And it happens when you start bending a lot of notes. You gotta be careful with using auto-tune too as well, because it could create something that you didn't really want to be there. But that's why you can also change it. So if I had accidentals, accidental is a note that's not intended to be within the key of whatever song I have. So if I'm in the key of F minor, maybe okay, maybe I wanted to add a D natural in there. If I wanted to, I can just click it, and then now it's in there. I don't know if it's gonna make a difference or not.
I got those French fries on the stove. Gonna get my grub on like for sure.
And what this basically means is that if I was at E flat, maybe I was singing E flat. No. Okay, if I'm down there, but maybe instead of hitting that E flat, I was or I was somewhere in between E flat and D, or maybe I was at D. Then instead of Autotune trying to correct and push me up to the E flat, it would keep me right at D, or even D flat, depending on where I am. So just keep that in mind, that, you know, the further out of tune you are, the more you're really going to hear the effect. But medium might work for you. Medium would be good for me too as well. I got those French fries on the stove. Can you hear that stove? And that's because I'm going up. Oh, if you're a person that has original music, maybe it's finished, maybe it's not finished yet, and maybe you just want someone to listen to it and critique it, sign up for the new series Pump My Jam. The link is in the description below. Okay, GF stove. So when I'm doing that with my voice. I'm intending to actually do those notes. But F and G are both in there. But that's one reason why you'll see it go sharp. French fries on the stove. Okay, because I'm actually going from F, but I'm going up near G. But I wasn't quite at G. All right, I wasn't quite there. I got those French fries on the stove. Gonna get my grub on like for sure. All right. So, all right, let's talk about the Humanize. So Humanize, it has different settings too as well. Now I wish you had like more of a dial that you can really move this incrementally, but it's like only 3 settings basically. But I mean, that's fine. And does it tell you what Humanize does? Humanize is basically supposed to make it sound more natural. So when you have the effects, okay, add realism to sustain notes at fast retuned speeds, okay? So that means that if I'm holding a note, no, all right, so I'm trying my best not to put vibrato on it. But if I put no, okay, and I add vibrato to it, maybe the Autotune will mistake it for me trying to sing a certain note, and it might change it. So this will kind of make it more for the tail end of those notes. So you can play around with that too as well. This is pretty much Autotune, you all, but I do have another plugin that I'm going to talk about. And if you're familiar with Waves, Waves is another one. Now, what's cool is I'm going to do a versus against those two. And then I also have G-Snap. G-Snap is on here as well, which I installed. Pitch shift. Of course, we have Melodyne, and I've talked about Melodyne before too as well. Where is G-Snap at? It's on here somewhere. I don't know. Anyway, that's for another time. Sorry, I'm getting lost and getting sidetracked. This is just a quick tutorial on Autotune, so hopefully you all know exactly what it is. That's why I said you got to stick around for the video so you can actually hear everything and make sure that you understand. If you don't understand exactly anything I said about Autotune or even applying the effects and things like that, definitely let me know in the comments. I really truly feed off of you all. Oh, now if you're not interested in getting Autotune, because I'm not trying to have you pay money for anything, you know I'm all about on this channel about using the stock plugins. But being that Melodyne comes with Cakewalk, but it's a trial version, and once the trial version expires, you really can't use it anymore, especially if you try to install another version of Melodyne. So Melodyne is discontinued on here, not discontinued, but I have to actually upgrade it and purchase it. I will do that one day because I want to talk about Melodyne. I really do like using Melodyne. But Autotune also has versions that allow you to go in there and really change the notes. So I can like pull a note and move it here. Now, I don't know if you all remember this, but if you are a true Cakewalk fan or a veteran, you'll remember the V vocal that used to come with Cakewalk. Tell me in the comments below if you remember V vocal. That was a really cool plugin, and I think Melodyne kind of took its place, but V vocal was free and you could use everything and it worked really well. But that's just how things are. Things got to change and upgrade, but I love Cakewalk. You all, I hope you all have a great day, great weekend. Peace.